Well, it's now after 7:30. We were going to leave before 7, but we've got a clean car, repacked after a semi-relaxing day at home, and we're going to head to Nebraska today. So let's get on the road. Yep. Ready for our next adventure. So our starting point here is 99%, 734. Here's our mileage as we start. Let's go. I'd planned our path out on a better route planner, but when I navigated in the car, it sent me straight to Worthington. A better route planner wanted to take us south to Des Moines before heading straight west. I'm partial to a more direct route, so followed Tesla's nav, even though some of the small rural highways would be slower. I think the final arrival times were close, so it probably didn't make much difference, but this route kept us out of some big spring storms. No road footage in this one since it's the second edit of this video. I had a 45-minute cut of this almost finished when a hard drive failed. I had backups that you're watching now, but lost all the GoPro footage of the drives, the high-quality time-lapses, and my thrilling in-car commentary. I'll still chime in if anything really important comes up as we go, but in the meantime, we'll just teleport from place to place. Alright, so we're at the old supercharger, and there's two cars here, but this is a 125 max. And there's a 250, I think, right on the other side of the Hy-Vee there. So we're going to go there so we can charge faster. Interesting that the nav sent us to to this one instead. It's a block closer to the highway, but that doesn't really mean anything. It also might be why the nav wanted to turn on this road, but it had this one plugged in. So just kind of a weird situation to consider when you're coming into Worthington, that it might route you in a weird way. But go to the 250 because it's faster. That was 162 miles, 2 hours and 49 minutes. Average energy of 315 watt-hours per mile. And there's our overall stats. 1025, 61 degrees, 19%. Let's plug in. No magic docks here for CCS, folks. But I believe across the highway, I think there's an Electrify America over there. And ramping up already above what we would have got at the other charger. 185 kilowatts, 190. Saying 15 minutes, but I bet it'll take us that long or longer. This new supercharger is a huge plus. V3, so up to 250 kilowatts charging. Nice little convenience store close by. Definitely beats the slower speeds and having to walk all the way around the main Hy-Vee store. That has a better selection if you need to shop, but this is ideal for a quick charge on these 8 pedestals. You're not making any sense, Dad. Okay, nice little stop there. We just ran in there, used the restroom. Got a banana and some orange juice. And just as I got Joan buckled in, it said we had enough to continue our trip. So we're at 59%. It's saying we'll get to Sioux City with 17%, so that's plenty. 101 miles ahead of us, which will be good. That'll be a good stop for lunch. I think that's a V3 too, so all good there. 60%, 1039, let's roll. For driving into town for McDonald's, get some nuggets, Jones Nuggets. We're now finally at the supercharger, 1224, 16%. And it looks like we need 10 minutes here. We'll probably do more than that. Last stretch was 104 miles, 272 watt-hours per mile, so that's nice. That came down from our first stretch. And then there's our full data. Enough of that. Let's get plugged in. We had wasted about 20 minutes going out of our way into town for McDonald's. Had I checked, we could have stopped by or walked over to the nearby Burger King. Walking would have meant crossing busy roads, so do that at your own risk. But after eating and a restroom stop at the gas station, we were charged enough. Alright, that was a good reset. I have no idea what we're charged to, but That's okay. V3 speeds. Let's see where we ended up. 12:51, 79%, saying we're going to get to Norfolk with 47. So that is plenty. Let's hit the road. We are in Norfolk, Nebraska at a Magic Dock station at 2:14, 73 degrees, 43%. It's saying 30 minutes. Man, that sounds like a lot, but we'll see. Only 79 miles, 288 watt-hours per mile. So all right there. Our overall average with the wheel covers has gone up to 280, but our lifetime has come down to 308. So take that as you will. Small sample size, but we'll see where we wind up. Let's plug in. Like I said, Magic Dock station here. So that's cool. Hopefully it's getting some CCS use. Starting to warm up a little bit. That's nice. Yep, already up to 131. Hopefully that continues to go up. Joan, are you ready to stretch? All right, let's go. She looks like Cindy Lou Who. 2, 4. Oh, this is an 8 still. Weird. It looks small. Alright, it's saying 5 minutes more to top up here. I'm going to let it go even though it's saying we're going to get to Kearney with 14% already. This is a little bit of a desert between here and the interstate. So we may as well go up to 95. We're only at 24 kilowatts, so it's a little slow going. We could probably leave. Actually, I'm just looking at the map now because it was saying we want to do 50 minutes in Kearney, and that's way too many. But actually, it looks like we could make a stop here near Hastings before we get to Kearney, and probably could have left already by now. And then rather than stay at Kearney so long, we'll probably go to maybe North Platte and charge up. I'll see which one of these is. Yeah, North Platte's at 250, so we'll probably stop there. Maybe hit Ogallala, or maybe hit that in the morning and grab some breakfast or something. The plan is fluid. All right, we're going to shake hands with Danger and unplug here. It's saying we'll get to Kearney with 15%. That's plenty of buffer. So, hey, here's a lightning pulling in. That's cool. This turned into a great interaction. He and his wife were new owners for about a month, and we're loving the lightning so far. The exact details were in the lost footage, but I helped him figure out the Magic Dock and app. This was his first time checking them out, just out of curiosity, so he didn't really need a charge. Although his golfing buddies gave him crap about an EV, he said it met all his needs, and he just plugs in at the farm. He also said he chose red because when you've got a smoking hot wife, you gotta get a fire truck. Pretty fantastic. After we wrapped up there, we worked our way southwest to the interstate for our first Runza experience. We are in Kearney, 23%, 533, 73 degrees. We're at the Runza, so we're going to give that a try. It wants us to stay here for a long time. We're not going to do that unless we need that much time to eat. 158 miles, 288 watt-hours per mile. That crept up pretty fast once we were on the interstate. So there's our overall stats. Let's plug in. Well, it's 40 minutes. We're not going to do that. Hi, Cindy Lou Who. I've got the chicken strips, and I got the original Runza. So we'll check out how that is. Joan, did you like Runza? Yeah? Pretty good, wasn't it? Should we come here again? Yeah? Alright. Alright, here we are in Kearney. There were a lot of people here earlier, so it didn't film much, but right behind the Runza. That was pretty good. Achievement unlocked. Let's see what our situation is. It was saying another 10 minutes or 7 minutes, but I'm putting in the North Platte supercharger. It's the next V2 or V3, and we'll charge up there before going to the campsite. So that allows us to leave here now, 96 miles, so we'll get there easily with 46%. It's better than waiting for this to slow charge over 90%. Once on the road, it was clear we'd make it to Ogallala on this charge, so we skipped North Platte, knowing we'd need a little time to look up our campsite info anyway. 7:11 p.m. Mountain Time, 17%, 67 degrees, and we're going to get to the campsite with 15%, but we're going to charge up here a little bit, see what we end up with. We'll make a plan for tomorrow so we know what we're doing. This is V2, so it's going to take a few seconds. We're at a pretty low state of charge. McDonald's up there, margaritas, Days Inn. Looks like maybe a little playground over there. We'll go explore that. 144 kilowatts, it's up to 145. We're not going to stay here for 50 minutes, but like I said, we'll see what we get. Alright, I just navigated to Granby. Said we'd get there at 1 a.m., which is about 5.5 hours from now. So that tells us what our day tomorrow is going to look like. We're less than 6 miles away from the campsite, or at least the entrance for the campsite. So we're going to run up there and try to get set up before it rains. We use the restroom, and Joan played on the slide for a little while, but now it's time to go. 79% at 7:39. The state park campsite emailed me detailed instructions, but after scrolling through them, I just threw the address into the navigation. This took us out of town, then to some weird turnaround boat landing area, but at least it was a place to stop and reread the directions, then go to the end of the lake, across the dam, and then down to our campsite. The big wall with the cars going across it is a dam. It's a little disconcerting. Tenting on the low side of the dam, but what could possibly go wrong? Otherwise, it's a beautiful night, enough breeze to keep the mosquitoes down. We're set up, it's about 9 p.m. Mountain Time, so 10 p.m. for us. We need to get to sleep and make a plan for the morning. Just after 7:30 Mountain Time, we're all packed up, leaving Ogallala, saying we want to go to the supercharger in Ogallala for 20 minutes. Seems like too much, but we might go stop there for a pit stop, and then the next stop would be Brush, Colorado. Hopefully the clouds burn off and we have a beautiful day. Do you want to play on that slide again? Okay. All right, we're back in Ogallala. It's saying 20 minutes. We'll see. Gonna let Joan play and figure out our game plan. My favorite spot, to be or not to be. Joan was playing. We ran in to use the restroom quick. It says we're ready to continue our trip. Let's see what that means. Saying Brush, Lakewood, and then to Granby. After a slow start to the morning, it felt great to cross into Colorado and start to climb. We did take a hit on our efficiency and had a headwind around 20 miles an hour that didn't help. No worries though, as we still pulled into Brush with 11%. Alright, here in Brush, Colorado at 11:03 with 11%, 82 degrees. That was 122 miles, 415 watt hours per mile. So that knocked our overall average up considerably. A lot of wind, a lot of elevation. Got Wendy's across the way, now we're charging. Subway here, travel center. Just got the indication that we've got enough to continue the trip with 71% at 10:29, 84 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's getting us there with, originally it was 9%, now it's 10%. And an hour and 25 minutes. We'll get some lunch while we're there and move on. I was hoping to be able to pick up like a banana or some kind of fruit, healthy thing option here. That's not really the specialty at this truck stop. But they have charging and restrooms, so that's a positive. Now saying we'll get there with 13%. We'll see what that wind does to us. About a half hour after leaving Brush, I noticed something that would have cascading effects, but I didn't know it at the time. So we pulled over to a Valero gas station that had no running water, and, well, you'll see. Just realized we're going up in elevation, and I haven't checked my tire pressure, and we are pretty high. We're supposed to be at 42, 49, or 50 on all of them. So gonna deflate those a little bit before we have a problem. Tire pressure reminder. As you go up in elevation, your pressure is gonna go up. We were at 49 and 50. We're supposed to be at 42. 10 minutes down the road and the tires I'd set to 42 were now at 36 psi. I really should have left them alone, but I was thinking of our last mountain adventure where we blew 2 tires separately, maybe due to high pressure and sharp rock. Like I said though, fussing with this will cause other problems later, but for now we cruise through Denver and into Lakewood. Lakewood, Colorado. Our friends from Minnesota are over there, charging the Rivian. We're here with 16%, 12:22, 91 degrees. The last trip was 98 miles, 378 watt hours per mile. We stopped to let the air out of the tires 56 miles ago. There's our overall stats, 4,000 with range maker covers. So that's interesting. Going up, but we're going up elevation. Nice V3 station, but the mall parking lots are massive. We had a long walk over to Target for restrooms and to look for something for lunch, but the car said it was ready before we even left the store. Oh, hi. You ready to get some lunch and go up the mountain? All right, let's do it. Okay, we got the notice that we were ready to continue by the time we walked over to Target. Now saying we're gonna get there with 35%. We'll see. All right, I just edited our trip to the actual campsite location. That gave us a few more minutes charge. We're only at 52 kilowatts now, at 84%. It's saying we'll, after a McDonald's stop here, we'll get up to Granby with 41%. That should be plenty. I think we can plug in at the campsite on 120, if nothing else. So we should be okay. I just don't want any surprises once we get up there. All right, let's roll. 86%, 12:53 now, 91 Fahrenheit. This next section is where it kills me not to have the dash cam footage. Going into the mountains is always incredible, but we were routed to a detour that took us up secluded 2-lane roads, into high narrow peaks, tiny mountain neighborhoods, through micro rainstorms as the peaks squeezed the clouds, then finally back down to the interstate on wet dirt road switchbacks that went on forever. The views and angles on the narrow road were outstanding. It's seared into my memory, but Apparently not onto my hard drive. We turned onto Highway 40, went over the Berthoud Pass, then down past Winter Park, across to Granby, and the Sun Outdoors RV Park and Campground just outside of town. Joan and I got checked in, found our site, and got set up before meeting the group. This was shot around 3:45, later than we'd planned, but after traffic and rain, it felt great to be here, feeling like we could settle down for a few days.
John, do you like this campsite? Yeah? Really pretty. And there's rocks to play in.
Joan played under patchy clouds while I filled the tent with all of our supplies. Once settled, we went back to the community center to check into the charge rally, get some food, and let Joan get some playtime with the other kids. The campground and RV park had a lot of great amenities. I'm showing some of that B-roll now. And these are shots from their website if you want to go check that out. It was cool to meet Katie and Steve from the All Electric family who are hosting the event, and the next episode will be all about our excellent weekend. But as we finished eating, wind and rain came rushing through the valley, and we needed to get back to see if we still had a tent. We arrived to find the tent nearly folded over, and I tried to brace it and hold it up, but really the gales were just too strong. Meanwhile, Joan had an exuberant diaper emergency that needed to be taken care of immediately. So as the tent was flapping almost flat on the ground, hitting me on the head, I was trying to change Joan, and she found with the door open to the tent that she could reach in and grab the pea gravel and try to put that in her mouth. So a lot going on, and frankly, it was one of the most frustrating and difficult parenting moments I've ever had. Here I was, finally at our destination, ready to enjoy myself, and then it felt like I walked over a trapdoor. I seriously considered packing the car with everything wet and just driving home. And I'm not sharing this for pity, but to empathize with parents who have been through these times before, and to warn new parents that some days everything just falls apart. I thought I'd been so prepared, but after shaking my fists in rage, literally at the sky, I took a deep breath and started solving one problem at a time. Joan was cleaned up, but she was upset, so I got her and a toy into the car, buckled her in where I knew she'd be safe. I grabbed a couple other essential items for the tent, sealed it up as best I could, and then I pulled the poles so the tent would lay flat and hopefully not blow away or break a pole if they hadn't already.
I never really did final stats when we got here, but this is our charging situation. So we got more storms coming. This at least seems to be holding on. Not going well. That's a plus.
I got Joan set up in the back of the car with the seats laid down. There was enough room for her sleeping bag, and she could get a good night's rest.
Well, that's what I get for lowering the pressure in the tires. I'll fill them up in the morning. Let's take a look outside. But I think we're car camping tonight. We're at 46%. I plugged in probably 40 minutes ago. I don't know if we're going to get anything, if we're going to be car camping, but it's saying 95 miles since our last charge, 278 watt-hours per mile, and I don't have the gumption to go through all the numbers. 61 and very windy out.
I reclined the driver's seat and did my best to get some sort of sleep there. Although it was a tough night with little rest, I am so glad we stayed. The charged rally made it all worth it, and I'll get that episode to you as soon as I can. But for now, thanks for watching, have a great day, and happy road tripping.